praises are Allah's, Lord of the worlds. And may His peace and blessings upon our Master, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and His pure, immaculate Ahlul Bayt. In fasting, like with other rituals and acts of worship, there's a superficial understanding to them, and there are many inner, esoteric dimensions. The Sharia is the letter of the law, and one should never suffice with the letter of the law. It's a first step, it's important, but this letter of the law has a spirit. In the ritual of fasting, there are many actions that constitute this spirit of the law. One of those is hunger. It's very important to understand what the secrets.
Can't hear anything.
Sisters, as a kind request, we, the men, were sitting up front and we're still unable to hear them. Kindly, please, if you would like to speak or converse, there are rooms in the back. If not, kindly, humbly respect others around you so they may benefit. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, as I was saying, that fasting, like other rituals in Islam, has a superficial dimension, but it has, in addition to the superficial external aspect, it has inner meanings. These inner meanings are prerequisites in order to perfect one's fasting. And therefore, a fasting minus these inner meanings would only be a minimum. It's only step one. One of the secrets of fasting entails hunger, being hungry. But what does it exactly mean to be hungry? What are the benefits spiritually? And how is this related to the concept of us being Allah's guests and Allah being the host during the blessed month of Ramadan? Ayatollah Qadi of Iraq, who was very strong in matters of spirituality, in addition to being a manager himself, is one of the very well known amongst the Urafa. He used to recite this tradition to his students in spirituality. I'll first read the tradition for you, and then we'll enter the discussion slowly. This tradition can be found in the book Kernel of Kernels, which is Allama Tabatabai. Allama Tabatabai being a student of Allama Ghali. It's Allama Tabatabai's treatise in spiritual wayfaring, compiled by one of his students, Allama Tehrani. But he writes that Allama Ghali would always give this tradition. And this book is a very good book, and if you read it, you will benefit, at least superficially. But this book is also taught in the houses, so it does need interpretation. And sometimes things are missing between the lines. It's very important to read it with someone if you want to benefit maximally. And the tradition goes like this. It's on page 104 of that book. It has been said that during the time of the earlier prophets, there were 3 friends traveling who entered a town where they were strangers. At nightfall, they dispersed in different directions to provide food for themselves. They decided to meet each other at the same place and at a certain time the next day. One of them received an invitation, and the other invited himself to someone's home. The third one, who had no place to go, said to himself, I will go to the mosque and be Allah's guest. We're getting close to the main point here. What does it mean to be Allah's guest? Because that applies to us during this month. He said, I'll go to the mosque in order to be Allah's guest. He went to the mosque, where he stayed overnight, but remained hungry until the next morning. The next day, the 3 men met at the designated place and began to describe what had befallen them. A revelation from Allah, exalted is He, came to His Prophet of the time, whereby Allah ordered the Prophet to tell the guest of ours that we accepted to host this dear guest in relation to the third one. We accepted to host this dear guest. We desired to offer them the best of foods. But we searched, Allah searched, our invisible treasures and did not find any food for him better than fasting and hunger. Of all the foods, amidst the invisible treasures of Allah, hunger was the best that Allah would afford this third guest. Now have that in mind for now. Then we have traditions. One from the Holy Messenger who says, مَا مَلَأَ آدَمِيٌّ وِعَاءً شَرًّا مِنْ بَطْنِهِ. Humankind doesn't fill any vessel, any container worse than his stomach. Humankind. For animal kind, if you were to fill your stomach, that's not a defect, but filling the stomach up to its limit. Please don't ever think that I'm suggesting you shouldn't eat. It's about filling the stomach. If animals fill their stomach, that's on a par with being an animal. But with humans, the worst vessel to fill is one's stomach. Animals eat, humans eat. Animals eat in a certain way, humans eat in another way. If you just confine eating to how animals eat, you would be on a par with animals. And tomorrow we'll speak more about that. Another tradition from the Holy Messenger, لا يدخل ملكوت السماوات والأرض من ملأ بطنه. One who fills one's stomach will not enter the celestial dimensions of the heavens and earth. The celestial dimensions, the metaphysical dimensions. This realm of existence is material, is physical. All other realms of existence are metaphysical. Although this material realm of existence is infinite, It's not as if there's an end to it, and then after there, you say, here is the metaphysical. No. The metaphysical realms of existence are inner dimensions of this very physical, infinite existence. But if you want to traverse, if you want to transcend, if you want to go beyond the physical, you can't do it if you fill your stomach. You're slowly getting to the ultimate reason behind hunger. The spirituality associated with hunger. Another tradition from Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, who says, لَيْسَ شَيْءٌ أَذَرَّ عَلَى قَلْبِ الْمُؤْمِنِ مِنْ كَثْرَةِ الْأَكْلِ وَهِيَ مُورِثَةٌ لِلشَّيْعَيْنِ قَسْوَةِ الْقَلْبِ وَحَيَجَانِ الشَّهْوَةِ. Nothing is more harmful for the heart of a believer, than overeating. You see? It's harmful for the heart. And it leads to two things. Being stone-hearted. Qaswatul qalb, stone-hearted. And also it enhances your animalistic dimensions if you overeat. And once the animalistic dimension predominates, this inhibits your spirituality. And there are many other traditions, I won't go over them all. But here we see there's a relationship between hunger and spiritual wayfaring. And in that tradition, that guest of Allah was given the best of foods amidst the invisible treasures, and that was hunger. And how can we assemble all this together? What are we missing between the lines? Ayatollah Jawadi Amali says that animals eat in order to sleep, but humans don't eat in order to dream. Oh, I'm getting to the crux of the matter. We don't eat, we remain hungry to dream. Ar-ru'ya juz'un min al-nubuwwah. Dreaming is a component of nubuwwah. Which component? Is the component of uruj and mi'raj and ascending, transcending beyond the physical. That's what happens in our dreams. Because in our dreams, we automatically detach from the physical realm. Be you Muslim or non-Muslim, you ascend. And in that ascending, many mechanisms are at play. I don't want to go through them right now. But it's all to do with you benefiting from your dreams. But we all ascend on sleeping. Some people, when they sleep, be you Muslim or non-Muslim, you detach from the physical realm. The body is still in the physical realm, but the soul now transcends. The soul doesn't go from place to place. The soul is placeless, it's immaterial. But it transcends to the metaphysical realms. It becomes, be you Muslim or non-Muslim, a recipient of divine, abstract knowledge. Everyone is a recipient. And then the soul converts that divine, abstract knowledge into pictures that we call dreams. Although technically in Islam, that reception of that abstract meaning is called a dream. Then those pictures, the purer the spirit, the more accurate those pictures will be, what we call dreams. Allah will give His knowledge through those dreams. It may be knowledge of the future, it may be knowledge of the past, it may be knowledge of the realities of the cosmos, it may be a prescription of action given to you. You may see the Imams, you may see the Holy Messenger. But dreaming is a component of prophethood. We remain hungry in order to dream. This is very similar to why we do wudu. Why is it told in the Sharia to execute the wudu before sleeping? And to recite certain verses of the Quran, and so on and so forth. Here too, animals sleep, humans sleep. But when humans sleep, Allah wants to prepare them because they're going to transcend and they can benefit from what they see in their dreams. So Allah wants to prepare them for this traveling in their sleep. And He says, do the wudu, recite X surah of the Quran, recite salawat, and so on and so forth. The purer the soul, the more you'll benefit from your dreams. Dreaming is a form of communication between the servant and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't take it lightly. Islam has even set a program for us for our sleeping. Otherwise, we would sleep just like animals. Overeating inhibits the soul to be free in order to travel when one sleeps. Because the soul with a full stomach is not allowed, is occupied. The soul is occupied with the digestion of the food. And therefore it's more occupied with this realm and is less freer to transcend. And that's why we have prescriptions before sleeping, especially during the holy month of Ramadan. Sleep with an empty stomach. You're going to benefit from your sleep. You are Allah's guest. Allah as a host in His invisible treasures is going to give you. What is He going to give you? When is He going to give it to you? It's during sleep, with an empty stomach, as the tradition that we started off with was highlighting. And then in the holy month, we have prescriptions that your sleep is ibadah. You can maximally benefit as Allah's guest in this month, and benefit from dreams in all kinds of ways. But acquire perfection through dreams from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That knowledge that you will get, as the tradition said, was the best of foods amidst the invisible treasures. This was spiritual food. It wasn't physical food. And then you can be a recipient of this spiritual food. This is ladunni knowledge, knowledge from Allah Himself, rather than from a scholar, rather than from a book. That's still academic, but if you grasp that knowledge directly from Allah, what can be better than that? And that's one of the secrets of fasting, of hunger. And the wudu also, it says before sleep, in order to prepare you to be a recipient of that unseen knowledge of Allah. Be pure, do the wudu, be ready for this journey in your sleep. This was before sleeping. But why do the ulama even say have wudu during the day. Always be in a state of wudu during the day. And then they say always be in a state of hunger, never be satiated during the day. Because even during the day, you can be a recipient of those invisible treasures. And you can see, but not with the physical eye. With the same eye that you see in your dreams, but you're awake. It's all about seeing. أَعِنْدَهُ عِلْمُ الْغَيْبِ فَهُوَ يَرَى. Does one have knowledge of the unseen to qualify as one who sees? It's not a physical seeing. Otherwise animals have that too. And it's only when you see the ghaib, the metaphysical realms of existence, are you qualified as a seer. Now you've started traveling. Mutu qabla an tamutu. Die a spiritual death before you die a physical death. That spiritual death being transcending from one realm to a higher realm. On physical death, it happens to everyone automatically. In sleep, it happens to everyone. Islam comes with a prescription. Before sleeping, be hungry, not satiated fully, be in a state of wudu. And even during the day, have these prescription in mind, you can still have ilm al-ghaib. It's more difficult. But the reason the ulama keep on saying have wudu during the day, this is the ultimate reason, is for you to have visions during the day. Why else? Why do we do wudu? If you just explain wudu as a physical concept, it's just washing the body, then the child will say, well, I've just had a shower. I'm much more cleaner. Why do I need the wudu? If you confine wudu to the physical aspect, you can't answer the child. But wudu, each component of it, on a par with that component, there are many physical meanings, inner meanings. Those inner meanings have to be borne in mind. Those inner meanings of spirit building. And this is important. We have a tradition that reads, Man ahdatha. It's a secret tradition that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Man ahdatha wa lam yatawadda faqad jafani. Whoever breaks his wudu and then doesn't execute the wudu, Allah says, he's abandoned me. وَمَنْ أَحْدَثَ وَتَوَضَّأَ وَلَمْ يُصَلِّ رَكْعَتَيْنِ فَقَدْ جَفَانِ. Whoever breaks one's wudu, they execute the wudu after that, but they don't perform 2 units of prayer. Allah says they have abandoned me. When someone abandons Allah, it means they're limiting their spiritual potential. وَمَنْ أَحْدَثَ وَتَوَضَّأَ وَصَلَّى رَكْعَتَيْنِ وَلَمْ يَدْعُنِي فَقَدْ جَفَانِي. Someone whose wudu is broken. They do the wudu, they do the 2 units of prayer, but they don't supplicate after the 2 minutes of prayer before Allah. Allah says, he's abandoned me. He still hasn't reached his spiritual potential. However, وَمَنْ أَحْدَثَ وَتَوَضَّأَ وَصَلَّى رَكْعَتَيْنِ وَدَعَانِي. Someone who does all this. On breaking one's wudu, they do the wudu again, they do 2 units of prayer, they supplicate after the 2 units. وَلَمْ أَجِبْهُ. And if I don't answer that supplication, فِيمَا سَأَلَنِي مِنْ أَمْرِ دِينِهِ وَدُنْيَا, in relation to that which they ask, if I, Allah, don't accept don't answer their supplication in whatever matter that they ask, be it matters of their religion or matters of the world. فَقَدْ جَفَوْتُهُ, I would have verily abandoned them. وَلَسْتُ بِرَبِّ الْجَوْفِ, and I am not an abandoning Lord. Now this is something incredible. Ayatollah Hasanzadeh already gives this prescription in one of his books. For people who are looking for prescriptions, this is one of them, from a great scholar. But what wudu is it? By means of which, after doing it, your supplication will be guaranteed by Allah in matters of the dunya or in one's religion. Is it merely just washing and wiping oneself and sufficing with the minimum? Definitely not. Definitely not. There's no doubt about it. That that's just a minimum. It's wajib, it has to be done, but this wajib letter of the law has many butun, esoteric dimensions. And if you are oblivious to those, you won't build yourself spiritually. This tradition won't have meaning. Islam isn't about magic, by just washing and wiping, whatever you want will be given. You have to pay heed to the spiritual dimensions of the wudu. One of those meanings, in Imam Khomeini's Adab al-Salat, the etiquettes of prayer, he goes through the esoteric dimensions of wudu. There are more than 150 of them, according to the Urafa. One of them is this washing of the two hands. We wash from a bit above the elbow down to the end of the fingertips. What does it mean? What are the esoteric meanings of this? Here the Urafa say that this elbow joint that we start from is indicative of the worldly causes. This is an important cause for us to do many things. But any cause in this world, this microphone is a cause, the car is a cause, the grocery is a cause, the doctor is a cause, the teacher is a cause. All these are causes. Here we want to wash ourselves. We're saying, oh Allah, when we're doing this, I wash myself from all causes. But the sole cause of causes, which is you. But I wash myself from everything else. I go to the doctor. He cures me. I thank the doctor. But huwa shafi. Allah is the cure. I don't get drowned in the doctor. That doctor has nothing for himself. Allah is Shafi. And Allah's being Shafi is manifested through many things, namely the doctor. I'm washing myself from the doctor. I see you as the Shafi, the curer. I'm not blind to this fact. When I go to the grocery and get food, I thank the grocery. But I say, I wash myself from seeing the grocery as the cause. Allah is the sole cause of sustenance, not the grocery. When I put the alarm on the car, in the car, it's okay for security reasons, but I say, Hawal Hafid. I see Allah as the preserver. I'm not dependent on this alarm. I use it, but I don't forget Allah. I'm washing myself from all causes but Allah. When someone teaches me something, I thank the teacher, but Huwal Alim, Allah is giving me the true teacher. He is the all-knowledgeable. He is the all-knowing. I'm getting it from Him alone. One does that 5 times a day. And that's one component of the wudu. This person, if this becomes incorporated within oneself, he's growing. He's growing now. Otherwise just wiping and washing, no. Be rest assured you won't acquire spirituality through that. And that's why we have to teach our children from an early age the inner meanings of the rituals. Otherwise they're going to find problems with it. Okay. Also in relation to the ghusl, why do we have so many? Just one point in relation to the wudu. You may break your wudu 10 times a day. Does that mean you should do it 10 times what we just said? No. For 1 year, at least try to do it once a day. At least for most of the year. If you start from tonight, every time you lose your wudu to do this prescription, you're going to burn the motor, your spiritual motor, and then there's no coming back. Also, why is it so recommended? This also has inner meanings. What is the ghusl preparing us for? When is the ghusl recommended or wajib to do? For example, copulation is one of the causes of doing ghusl. The one becomes junub. Because in that act, one becomes grossly drowned in the world and forgets Allah, albeit momentarily. They become grossly infatuated by the world. And here, due to the intense in being engrossed in the world intensely, here now you wash the whole body in a particular way. With wudu, it was parts of the body. Here, though, you became engrossed intensely. And therefore, it's more of a washing now. It's more of a washing. And then it says how to do the wash. Each component of the wash has meaning. And sometimes we want to prepare ourselves for important nights. Like Laylatul Qadr. There's always a recommended ghusl on these important occasions. Just in case you've become engrossed in the worldly life, do you want to benefit spiritually from Laylatul Qadr? There's a recommended ghusl. To do after the Maghrib, if you can't for whatever reason, do it before Maghrib. Which is feasible for you to prepare yourself. Then each component of the ghusl too, there are meanings. And one has to bear those in mind in order to spiritually benefit from the ghusl. Otherwise, what would the difference be? There's a reason why the Sharia says the right side and the left side. There are things to recall on the right side. There are things to distance oneself and wash the left side. Now, during Laylatul Qadr and the ceremony of Laylatul Qadr, there are aspects to it that we have to be clear about. During the ceremony of placing the Quran on our heads, which is a sunnah which Imam Baqir alayhi salam has taught us, it's a sign of respect to the Holy Quran. Here, during the ceremony, we do tawassul to Allah and to the Imams. Like bi Muhammadin, bi Muhammad, bi Aliyin, 10 times, and so on and so forth. What does this mean? For example, in the Dua of Faraj, Ilahi Adum al-Bala, there, in part of that dua, it says, Ya Muhammad, Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad. Ikfiyani fa'innakum kafiyani, wansurani fa'innakum nansirun. What does this mean? That, O Muhammad, O Ali, O Muhammad, provide us with sufficiency. Only you are sufficient. Help us. Only you are helpers. What does this mean? I thought that maybe before the ceremony, if we just clarify what this means, it may be of some benefit. Because the status of the Imams can be misunderstood. There are two extremes. Some people regard them as normal human beings like me and you. That's it. But they endeavored. Some people just take them away from the human dimension. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. Say, O Prophet, to the people, only I am a bashar, a human being. Bashar comes from bashar, skin. That's why we call it human skin, because the external surface is skin. It's referred to as humans. I have a skin like you, my body is like yours. You can't deny that dimension. However, you are ilayya. It's revealed upon me. And the verse continues. That's a divine dimension which they have. So, how do we explain all this? The Oracle explains in this way. I'll just give one example, so that it may be easier when I give the explanation for you to have this example in mind. When it's night and you can't see the sun and the moon is shining, and the moon says, I am shining, is it the moon that is shining, or is it the sun? It's the sun. The moon has no light of itself. It's reflecting the light of the sun. Without the sun, the moon is nothing. You can't grant independence of shining to the moon. If the moon says, I am shining upon the earth, thank you, it's very important. You're very important for human beings. But you're just reflecting the sun's qualities. You're an intermediary. You're not independent. The sun is independent. We believe this in relation to the Imams. When Amirul Mu'mineen says, Ana al-Qala, I am the pen. Ana al-Kursi. When they say, Nahnu Asma'ullah, we are the attributes of Allah, they're reflecting Allah's attributes. You see, in Arabic, medieval Arabic, when you say Zaydun alimun, sometimes you mean that Zayd is knowledgeable. You attribute knowledge to Zayd. Okay? But sometimes in Arabic, when you say Zaydun alimun, what you mean in Arabic rhetoric is that upon which Zayd depends upon, knowledge-wise, is knowledgeable. Like Zayd's father or teacher. Zayd's father or teacher was knowledgeable. You say Zaydun alimun, Zayd is knowledgeable. What you mean is that which this Zayd is dependent upon knowledge-wise is knowledgeable. When we say the moon is shining, we're saying that which the moon depends upon, shining-wise, light-wise, is shining. And when we say the Imams have X, Y, Z attribute, we're saying that which the Imams depend upon is expressing these attributes. We don't assign to the Imams independence in relation to these attributes. If you do, that's not correct. Some people even do sajda for the Imams. And they do it not as an act of worship, they do it only for the Imam. Allah lessly. Things become problematic like that. Your tawheed will maybe compromised like that. The Imams are very important. They're not just physical entities. They are physical. They've acquired revelation. They're manifestors. They're manifesting Allah's attributes, like the moon with the sun. But all those attributes, if you look at it Allah-lessly, you've lost the plot. In this dua, yes, Ya Muhammad or Ya Ali, it doesn't matter. Ya Ali, Ya Muhammad. Ikfiyani. فَإِنَّكُمَا كَافِيَانِ. Yes, you are sufficient. You are Nasir. You are the helpers. But that which we are asking and saying, when we are saying you are Nasir, it's not you. Qua you, in and of yourselves, is that which you depend upon, and that which you're manifesting. Nasir-wise and Kafir-wise. Only Allah is Kafir. Only Allah is Nasir. And if we're calling them Nasir, they're manifesting that, like the moon. So in this dua, we're not asking the Imams for anything. We're asking Allah for everything. The Imams are complete manifestations of Allah's attributes. In that sense, we're saying you shouldn't look at your Muhammad, your Ali as this person, call that person Allah-lessly. Once you look at it minus Allah, you've lost the plot. Because they're manifesting Allah's attributes. In the beginning you say Ilahi Adil at the end, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. It's all Allah. In this dua, you're never diverting your attention from Allah. But your Muhammad, your Ali, these are attributes of Allah's manifestations of Allah's attributes. Whatever is existence. But these manifest Allah much more. And we say, you are Kafi, you are Nasir, because that which you depend upon, Kafi-wise, Nasir-wise. That's who we're getting the help. Not from you, qua you. So that has to be borne in mind when we go through these du'as, inshallah. Once someone came to Imam Jawad, alayhi salam, and said, Oh Imam, can you give me some help, some money, on a par with your Jude? You are Jawad, you are all giving, all bounteous. On a par with your Jude, can you give me something? I'm desperate, I'm needy. Imam Jawad alayhi salam said, that's impossible. Then the man said, okay, on a par with my Jude. And Imam Jawad alayhi salam said to a person, give him 100 dirhams. And they gave him. See, what's the point here? When he said on a par with your Imam's Jude, there's no end there, that's infinite. Because the Jude of the Imam is dependent upon Allah's being Jawad, and that's infinite. But when it came to the person, no, we have finite Jude. These things are important. And as long as one recalls that it's all asking from Allah, all things are manifestations of Allah's attributes, but some things manifest Allah's attributes more than others. But it's all about Allah. Ya Ma'bud, Ta'alayta, Ya Mawjood. It's all Mawjood. It's all Allah. La ilaha illallah. There's no existent but Allah. There's nothing separate from Allah. There's nothing separate from existence. It's all Him. It's just our take on things which does the damage. Inshallah, we'll speak more about the Tawheed aspect later, inshallah. Okay, with your permission, I'll end there and just to recite a few words of Musibah, and then inshallah.